Alright, it's the number 224 of my accountability to myself, and I appreciate everyone's attention who watches this. Probably 223 or 24, I don't actually remember, but it doesn't really matter because this is just another day. And well, probably I should start telling about everything that happened since this morning. So I don't remember what time did I even wake up. That was probably 7:20, I think. So nothing special happened in the morning. I just had my morning routine, I repeated the text, and then I went to have my lesson. So everything was pretty fine though. That business meeting was even better than I expected because for some reason I'm pretty sure I coped it pretty well, in my opinion. And yeah, after that, I would say after that I started feeling a little calmer because I realized that alright, I don't need anything to get prepared to in the upcoming days, which is pretty good, right? So that was sort of catharsis for me, I would say, because I don't know why, but I was low key stressing out a little about the stuff. But then, yeah, once we've done that assignment, um, I just started feeling a little better. So afterwards, I wanted to go to the gym, but I wasted nearly 1 hour 30 because first I waited for my friend for 30 minutes. Then I was waiting for the bus 10 minutes longer than I was supposed to wait because one of the buses just didn't arrive. Then we just stopped and we didn't move for 10 minutes. Then we didn't arrive to the final stop to the stop where I needed to get out because for some reasons um, the driver like stopped and said, oh, like everyone is supposed to leave something. I don't know, he said it in Dutch. I didn't know what did he say, but I was supposed to walk. Then I walked to get that parcel. Then I couldn't get that parcel. Then I figured out how to get that parcel. So I literally spent 2 hours trying to get my parcel only. And that's it. Afterwards, I went to the gym. I had such a great workout, honestly, almost 2 hours, I think, because I did my biceps, triceps, forearms. I also decided to do calves because I noticed that my calves are so small. And this is a group of muscle that is so hard to grow, so it would make sense to um, uh, to train this muscle more. And then I also did some shoulders, my middle delt, yeah. And then I went home. I had my breakfast at 3 p.m. and again I had my dinner at 5 p.m. and it's so funny because I have only 2 meals a day and I have them with this interval in 2 hours. I don't know, it's pretty funny because it feels like I'm not eating anything throughout the whole day. Then I have my first meal, in 2 hours I have another meal, and and afterwards I don't have anything again. But I don't know, for me it works. I don't really feel hungry. Like I wouldn't mind to eat something, but it's not like strong urge or something, strong desire. So it's enough to survive. And also I noticed that I'm getting leaner. My muscles become more defined. So I think my cutting is going pretty good. Then yeah, afterwards I wanted to study, but first I spent more than 1 hour figuring out why the fuck I'm putting so much pressure on me, because what am I experiencing? Like I'm trying to swim, I'm swimming, and always I put something more on myself, and my weight becomes heavier and heavier, and as a result, I I start sinking. So I started digging in my mind, and I figured out a couple of things. Actually, I realized the core problem, but I don't really want to reveal it. I don't really want to, yeah, to basically explain what it is, because it's something that is more related to myself, to some kind of demons that I'm fighting in my mind. But well, I'm kidding, but I know not all the things I wanna be talking about. But for example, one of the things is that I don't know, I just have several points. Mm, one of the problems, I underestimate repetition, and I'm looking for novelty, which would actually make sense to explore as much as possible things, but on the other hand, it will never bring me a decent result in a specific area, because to actually become great at something, you need to stay long enough, and you need always to repeat those how it's called, iterations, like when you repeat again and again, and like each of your iteration is like each of your repetition is better and better, because like you have more experience or something. And one of the simplest examples, if I didn't do anything besides studying French, most likely I would be already able to speak nearly fluently in French, because have I wouldn't have uh, my how to say, my attention, which is uh how it's called, fragmented, right? When I'm trying to pay my attention to everything instead of being focused on one thing. And I think it's a big problem, because on the other hand, I want to be trying a lot of stuff, and on the other hand, one of the things that I realized, it does not take that much time just to try something. For example, if I've got the idea with clothing brand, even though it's, an area uh, where that's long time ago reached some kind of market saturation, still it's something that I would be willing to consider, because it's something that is interesting to me. So, and I don't need to start making clothing to um to do all the headache with logistics and all that stuff. I just need to make my research to make sure that I need to understand clearly what kind of brands there are specifically there, what's where it would be possible to buy that fabric, how would it be possible um, to buy it in bulk or something. Like I first need to understand how the process works and what's going on the market, right? Before taking any further steps. And it does not require a lot of time. It's like a couple of hours, and that's it. And I have clarity, and clarity prevents ambiguity, because sorry. Um because nowadays everything is vague, right? I've got this idea, I've got this vision. It seems like, oh, it might work, but my I don't know why, but the first word that I've got in my mind was French word, my connaissance, mes connaissances, which means like my knowledge, they are really limited, right? So I just need to make this research. I will be understanding more. That's it. So another thing also, when I said like, oh, I would like to try to use AI to code, do all this stuff, it also requires a couple of hours to figure out how this stuff works, because I already tried to make a bot, I already tried to make one website for studying languages, and well, I understood how it works in a couple of hours. And also I realized that it's gonna take a lot of time if I wanna build something decent. That's the first thing. So if I would like to try to build some kind of app, I could just try, right? And that's it. And then I would realize how it's going. I would get more clarity. Also about making videos, it's another topic, it's another my weakness, which is I how it's called. I don't understand what I wrote. What? Oh yeah, I overconsume optimization. So I always try to look for the best framework, for the best structure, for the best schedule, for the best system. And this is sort of perfectionism deep inside, which is my inner voice, which says, yes, you need to get this perfect moment to start, to kick off, which does not really make sense, because one of the problems, another way I'm first finish this opinion. So what is the problem with our consuming optimization is that I want to start making videos, right? Making some kind of content that would be interesting. Like, as I mentioned, if I started studying Spanish, like becoming fluent in 90 days, it would be interesting to observe, in my opinion. And I would be able to learn a lot how to make content properly, so that people stay with you, they're still interested even when some time passes. But again, like what was my point is to do this every single day. Every single day it would take a lot of time, and I don't need to start doing something that would take a lot of time every single day, right? Because I could start making videos, making them once a week. Once a week, it's way easier, right? But once a week I feel like, oh, it's not gonna grow fast enough, I'm not gonna be developing fast enough, and I could be making this progress quicker. So I need to accelerate this process, and just by making video every single day, right? And the next problem that I don't remember what I wanted to say, honestly, but I think it's like over complicating simple ideas, because pretty often there's like something simple that I need to learn, but I overcomplicate it because I start looking for some researches, for some scientific terms to understand how it works. For example, when I started studying about habit system in our mind, it would be enough to understand that, oh, all right, our behavior, our habits, this is automated behavior that is result of no, not like this. Like our habits, this is our neurologically reinforced patterns that we've been operating upon for many years, because our brain is trying to optimize everything and to be effective basically, and that's why it automates everything, right? And if you want to build a new habit, you need to build a new pattern in your mind, which will require more repetition. Because how would I say, it's like, oh, I think I've already given this example, but like, you have your current pattern, which is red, bright red color, and there's a new pattern that you want to implement, gray color, dark gray color. And when you start reinforcing your new patterns through repetitions, it's getting a little more reddish, and then it becomes brighter and brighter. And then this one, on the contrary, becomes grayish and darker, so it loses its color, whereas this one gains its color. In simple words, and you just need to understand that, yeah, in the beginning it's hard and it becomes easier, but instead of just understanding how it works, I started studying what is this neuroplasticity, that our brain can rewire itself um, through creating new patterns in our mind. Because, yeah, if you put some conscious effort or through experience, whatever, you can change your behavior, the way you're responding, you're thinking, right? And I didn't even stop when I figured out about neuroplasticity, because I started studying how neurons works. That was the moment when I figured out about synapses, and that they connect neurons and how it works, about those pathways and all that stuff. Like, I really overcomplicated those things. But on the other hand, I was basically interested in that, so maybe it's not the best example. But literally, sometimes when I need to read a definition of something, instead of doing that, I just start searching the entire topic. Oh yeah, one of the examples, I really wanted to learn about sleeping, how it works. I made ChatGPT to make deep research for 50 minutes. It found 370 sources, listed them, and gave me a huge list of information. And I started reading. I couldn't understand a single word. I write a single sentence. I'm reading a sentence, too many scientific terms, too many things that I need to study separately to understand one sentence, which was overcomplication. So I always overcomplicate in order to get a greater result, but then I cannot even stick to that pace, and I feel it works low-key the same way with like making content, because I feel that I need to start doing something. I need to grind, because I actually need to become remarkable in that area, like to make something astounding, you know what I mean? And one of the reasons for that is that what I also realized, what is true, that my self-worth depends on achievements. And if I'm not achieving, it seems like I'm not doing anything. And and at the same time I cannot feel enough during the process. Even flowing in the process, I don't feel enough. I feel that no, I need either faster development or some kind of bigger achievements. Yeah, and I constantly compare my current self to ideal future one. So, and all the stuff that I mentioned, which might sound a little confusing, like this list of all of those things is a reason for my how to say it. I cannot say worryingness, but I can say for my like for the stress that I experienced, right? So I just asked one question myself. What can I execute consistently for 2 years? And I need to find an answer for that because I don't know. I don't know. I firmly believe that I definitely need to expand social media or just trying to record something, trying to I would say attract as much as possible audience. But on the other hand, it's about some kind of quality, about understanding the principle of um, of promoting your content, because this is brand. This is branded sooner or later, but definitely will be beneficial because you need to have your name. You need to be able to show to people what you've got. If you've got a new product, if you've got something, you need to make people see this. And to make them see this, you can do this through your channels, through your social media stuff, right? So I believe that it's something inevitable. And yes, one also of one of the things that I remembered, low key, I have some kind of fear of not being perfect when I'm making those videos. Not it's not even about perfection; it's about being ridiculous. But on the other hand, the last video that I watched before recording this video is Alex Hormozy, like a short video because I started just fucking scrolling TikTok. But on the other hand, I had everything in French, so it was funny to listen. I mean, we could interpret it as some kind of practice, some kind of studying, right? But the last video was Alex Hormozy, and he said that you will never be able to achieve anything if you are not willing to look dumb, because no matter what what you start, you will look dumb because you don't have expertise, you don't have knowledge. And to gain those knowledge, you need to start, you need to look dumb in order to improve and to build on that. So I just need to change a little my perspective, I would say, because sometimes when I think that, well, this universe exists for 30.7 billion years, my life lasts for 100 years, low key, it does not mean anything in terms of the entire universe and what is going on. And like in 60 years, I would be definitely regretting not doing this today. because when I'm 60, when I'm 80, when I will be 80, yeah, when it becomes so hard to express my thoughts. So because when I'm 80, I won't be thinking whether that could be a right decision or not. I will be only remembering about what I've done. And so it can be a good story of success or a good story of failure. In both cases, this is experience, and experience is important. It's time to sleep, though 11:25 p.m. I don't know. Low-key, it gets harder to convey my opinion, so I would rather go to sleep. The last thing I need to do for today is to schedule my day for tomorrow, and we'll see how it works. We'll see how it works. I will try to avoid my perfectionism, and I still need to think about all this stuff that I listed. I need to reflect, to get some ideas, and to link everything that is going on in my mind, because I know clearly what is the problem, why am I experiencing anxiety, and the problem is even I never allow myself to waste a single minute. And then obviously I cannot operate perfectly. I'm not a machine to operate perfectly, right? I always have some downtime. I always have some time, some leisure time, right? And the problem is that I don't really allow myself to waste this time or to spend this time ineffectively, because I feel some kind of guilty. If I'm gonna waste at least one day, even though it might be a strategic, a tactical retreat, because if you don't do anything for the entire day, you just refresh your mind, you allow all the information to get internalized or something, and then having fresh effort, you can start your new day, right? But if I just spend one day doing nothing, in the evening or for the next day, I'm gonna be thinking, I wasted the entire day. I could have done this stuff yesterday, but I have not done it. And the problem is that it happens to me 7 days a week, that I'm supposed to perform 7 days a week. I don't have a single day that I could waste. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to finishing my studies, which will be in a couple of weeks, because I want to return to my parents. I want to take a skateboard. I want genuinely to do skateboard and waste a couple of days doing nothing. Running in the morning, writing everything in my diary, watching movies, whatever. To give more space for my brain to think, more room for my space to think, and on the other hand, to refresh my mind a little, because nowadays I feel that I'm feeling that I feel that I'm running a marathon that gets longer and longer. The more I'm running, the longer this marathon gets. I still didn't decide what am I supposed to do during the summer. I do definitely need to start making some kind of contents. So I still need to think. I wish I could take a day off tomorrow, but guess what? I will be feeling guilty. I mean, I realized that something's wrong with me, right? It's not a type of mindset that allows to operate at your full capacity, because you need rest sometimes. You need to recharge, and I need to wait some time without feeling guilty, right? I don't know. We will see. That was basically the reason why I used going to the gym literally every day. Like a couple of months ago, I would be going to the gym 50 days in a row. Like literally, each day is heavy workouts, and I would be coming to the gym 50 days in a row. Then one day off, and then again 40 days in a row. Today is a bit lighter. Today I'm coming 6 days in a row and then one day rest. But well, I don't know, I just feel that every day is an opportunity to become better, to become closer to my aims. I find it as weakness if I indulge myself in watching movies instead of studying. I find it as weakness. This is maybe the problem. Like overall, I wouldn't complain about my mindset, because it allows me to stay pretty disciplined, right? But sometimes it backfire. Sometimes it simply backfire because I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough desire, because when you're operating every day, for example, say 4 days a week I have my classes. When I need to learn to study something, I'm going to university 3 days off. During those 3 days off, I'm studying more than during the 4 days when I'm going to university. And this is the infinite circle. 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. Even during the break that I had a little more than a month ago, all of my friends would go somewhere to travel or something. I stayed to study even more, because I was considering to go. I was considering going somewhere, but I changed my mind, because I thought, oh, I've got 2 weeks to actually learn something. That's great. All right, I'm getting so hungry at this point, so I should go to sleep. So see you in the next one.